What is going on, EDC people, and what is our journey today? Boy, it's been a long time since I have filmed, and I am sorry about that. I had a planned time off. First of all, if you don't care about any of this, I'll put a little timestamp where you can jump ahead to, and I'll try to put it in the description if I remember. But if for those of you who care, I had a couple days planned off. Or a couple weeks rather, not a couple days. Came back from the couple weeks off and did tons of yard work, and stood proudly atop the steps at the end of the day to take a look at the backyard that I just worked so hard on, and I slipped on my on the sandals on the wet steps and fell down to the driveway, where I fractured the head of my fibula on my right leg. So I've been in some pain, but I'm at a point now where it's under compression, and I'm able to film. During all of this downtime, and excuse some of this unzipping as I prepare to show you some of these knives, I have played with many knives, but there was one brand in particular that I played with, I don't even say played with, that I used the most. I used one of these knives every single day. Every single day one of these knives was in my pocket, let me put it that way. At least one of these knives from this brand. Well, let's move this along. If you like my videos, take a moment and consider subscribing. First, I should also take a couple moments and thank a couple people who I haven't been able to directly address yet because of my backed up time filming. Lancelot Leather, this was from the TPK giveaway, as it may seem. But your coaster is also over here doing its job perfectly well. I can't bring the drink over too. I'm not coordinated enough, but you can see the ring of the drink. In addition to that, Joe from Lancelot Leather sent me a beautiful notebook that I've just started to get to use, and it just reminds me to thank him for that. Back to the point of my video today is Finch. Finch Knives. Specifically, I want to thank Spencer over at Finch Knives. He's made this possible today for me to show you 4 of what I consider to be the nicest models they have so far. If not the nicest, 4 of the nicest. They're the only 4 I have, and all 4 are nice. It took me a little while to decide how I was going to film the Finch videos. You know, did I want to do one at a time and review, one model like the Holiday and drop a review, a Runtly drop a review, or did I want to do one video overall? Did I want to do one video and then single videos? I'm not sure yet even what I'm going to do, but I am going to do a video now covering the company as a whole and the 4 knives I have in general. And from where I go, where I go from there, I'm not sure. Most likely what I'll do is a review on each of these separately, but each of them have their own unique story that I want to share with you, and one in particular especially. So without further ado, the first knife, the one that started them off, I believe, as the story is told, is the Finch Runtly. The Finch Runtly. It's designed in homage to I believe a head and river lure, an antique lure. One of the designers over at Finch is an antique lure collector, and so the design comes from that. That's where the inspiration came from. However, the knife itself has some pretty cool qualities about it that really have nothing to do with that particular aspect. So let's start with just looking at it as a knife. It's clearly a Wharncliffe. It's pretty nice. It's pretty chunky. The 0.13 in thickness. Sorry, the neighbor's pulling in and distracting me. Notice it has a nail nick on each side. We'll get back to that. It has a nice Nice finish on it. Look at that. There's the 154 cm. That's the blade steel. Again, we'll get back to that. That's pretty cool though, with the model, the Runtly. Really nice sharpening choil. A hefty Warncliffe blade, really. But it comes down to a real nice razor blade. The handle is 0.516 inches thick. It is contoured, so it does have some roundness on there. So, did I catch the clip on that? I might have. 0.512. So I may have caught the clip on that last reading. The clip on all these models are titanium. The clips are all titanium. It's stainless steel liners, stainless steel frames on some of the models, but the clips are titanium. The action is awesome. When closed, it has kind of like a I don't know what, like a trapezoid, almost looking. What's the word that I'm trying to get out of my mouth? You know, like an optical illusion. There we go. Oops, hit the whole thing. An optical illusion. It kind of looks like the whole thing is still there. I told you we'd get back to the nail nicks. I like the nail nicks because it brings it back to that old-fashioned, old schoolness. You could absolutely use them, although no need, because the action on the flipper is awesome. It says Finch on this side, nothing else. Very nice. Nice pivot cover, just round stainless steel. We'll talk more about the Finch logo itself, but take note of it. It is sapphire crystal and it actually does have lume. Well, let's just get it right out of the way. The partner in the company owned or operates Raven Watch Company, and his touch to these knives, at the very least, is the lume and the logo on these. Now, on a lot of knives, I would say that that's kind of tacky looking, but on these, I think it was pulled off absolutely perfectly, and beautiful. But that is the Runtly. Let's get an overall length. I have a ruler here somewhere. Well, first of all, let's see here. It's about 2.5 inches long on the length of the blade. That is from the tip to the scale. Then the scale itself is about 3 1/4. Is my little ruler long enough? It is. It looks from tip. If I can line it up without, it's a rather stout knife. I really do like it. I'm going to show you some different hand positions, but if I could just take this measurement, it's just under 6 inches anyways, overall. I'll either post the direct specifications of the knife, or you can just Google search Finch Runtly specs, and I'm sure that the exact numbers will come up for you. His particular one is the black shiner model. They have a tremendous variety of scale patterns. I've seen Cocobolo. I think there was a bone one that looked really cool. Cocobolo wood. I've seen, of course, micarta, and G10 in different colors, yellow G10, red G10. Just really cool knife. An awesome EDC size. Now, that shape I was saying, it is slightly small. Okay, and I do apologize again. I remember I fell down, so my hands took a little hit there. What I have discovered to be called the Finch grip. See the jimping on the flipper tab? I guess I should start with this closed. See that there? Oh, there is a caterpillar right on my camera. Please don't go on my drink. Please go away. I like bugs, but you're not right now. Okay. Okay. So it is the black G10, the black shiner variant. I believe that's where I just left off before I get distracted by the bug. Titanium clip, and overall has an impressive story to tell with his brand. And each knife has a story behind it. I explained this one was the Runtly inspired by the fishing lure. Well, how should I do this? I'm going to take it off the screen completely for now. How could I almost forget to do one of the most important things? In grams, 88.17, 3.11 ounces. So I have used the Finch Runtly. I've used it a lot. There's now 4 knives. The 4th is new, so for most of the time I had 3 of them: the Runtly, the Cimarron, and the Holiday. And like I've told you, every day I've had one of these models in my pocket. The Runtly is no exception to that. Oh, I was showing you the Finch grip. Take note of the jimping on the flipper tab. It's in a great location. It's really easy to do, great action, but that jimping on the bottom has purpose, right? It helps right there. It helps, and then you can grab right on there. And there's also jimping on the top. It's one of the few Finch knives that have jimping. But you could get this locked-in grip on there, and I can get all 4 fingers on there and my thumb if I really wanted to. Now my hand is a little bit smaller than the average person, so most likely, it's going to be a 3-finger knife. But with the Finch grip, I can get 4 on there. I'm just saying. Now, we'll get back to the Runtly, but I want to move on to another model. This model is cheaper in retail price than the other 3 models I'm showing you. It's the Finch Cimarron. It is made out of 14C28N for steel. And there's the model right on there, Cimarron. This is the gray/yellow G10 variant. Obviously Finch Knives. And there you go. It's a full-length knife. It's pretty lightweight. I'll get a weight for you in just a moment. The action is awesome on it, actually, for being such a simple little G10 knife. I mean, just boom, drop shut. The entire blade fits within the body. I like that a lot, especially on sporting knives. And I definitely consider this, especially because of the different color variants you can purchase, to be an absolute amazing sporting knife. The Cimarron. It is a sporting knife, really. From what I understand, and I have to do a little bit more research on it before I do an in-depth video specifically on this knife, but this was a knife that was primarily designed, or at least conceptualized, by Spencer's partner in the company, and I want to say his name is Steven, and I'm sorry if that's not the right name. I should really know that. I will absolutely look into that. But this is the moderately priced, I think it's in the $80 or $90 range, gray and yellow G10 Cimarron. Yes, a slightly lesser blade steel, but a lot of people are liking the 14C28N these days, and I am one of them. The action, like I told you before, is absolutely amazing. And I can't think of I mean, it's honestly, for a sporting knife, even the design of the blade, which I should mention, Spencer, somewhere I heard him tell a story that the design was kind of conceptualized by, or thought of by, those windmills, like that turn, or the turbines or whatever that you see, those wind farms, one of those like propeller things. But the way I see it is, it's like an absolutely awesome EDC. So here's the Cimarron. Like I said, I think it's like $80–90. The steel is appropriate for that. Titanium clip like the other ones. I guess you could call it a bolster lock, but it's basically a liner lock. It's got that thin blade design like I was talking about. So I can see this for any EDC work, period, really. It kind of reminds me of the 940 in height, blade height. How the ratio of thickness to blade, whatever I'm trying to say. That having been said, all these, let me close this blade. like I said before, this blade fits entirely in the handle, and on a sporting knife I like that. I like it's nice and neatly tucked in, and it can be hung from you know, somewhere in your rucksack or your camping bag or whatever, and or your pocket, hey, and you know, you can rest assured that your blade is nice and safe. It's lightweight, as I said. This is in ounces, 3.07, 87.03 grams. So it's on par with the Runtly in weight and far larger. The length, just had the ruler, where did I put it? I get 4.5 on the handle. Oops. And 3, depending on how you measure it, 3.5-ish, 3.5 on the blade, which would be, well, I'll have to get the specs. It's too big for my ruler. So I'll go ahead and put the specs for this knife right here on the screen, directly from Finch, so that we don't have to deal with trying to have my smart ass measure it. Okay, so this is the Finch Cimarron. This has been, I've used it just like it has been, in my eyes, meant to be used. On hiking days, this would go. On a walk day, this would go. If I had gone camping, like something like that, you know, any outdoor kayaking or whatever, like this, it's got the bright line. They do have brighter models if you like the brightness out on the outside to be brighter for your fishing or hunting or outdoor knife, but this is the more subdued coloring of them all, but it still has that bright neon yellow, so it just really reminds me for some reason of boating, and I feel like that matches. So when I go boating, this will go with me anytime like that. And once again, there's that Finch crest. It does have. Here's the Finch Holiday, and I think that this is kind of, this is different than the other two. This caught my interest in a far different way. I'll show them all overall, you know, before the end together, so that you see them together. But this is the Finch Holiday. It's made in homage to kind of an old-fashioned doctor's knife. Holiday, Holliday, Holiday, meaning Doc Holliday. It's a direct reference to it. He was a dentist. You look up Doc Holliday. But, the one I have is red micarta, and it's beautiful. I love it. Absolutely love it. Great, great knife. Great Warncliffe blade. 3.25 inches long on the blade and 4 inches on the handle. It's very boxy. Okay, in inches, 0.4735, and over here we'll do the blade, 0.11. Yeah, so this is the Finch Holiday, and I absolutely love it. The action on it's awesome, and I'm switching it out right now for the other Finch Holiday that I have that's red. This is the one that I carried the most the whole time that I've been kind of off the air, and I'll explain more in detail in just a minute. Okay, mint version that I keep in perfect condition for right now, and then the one that I originally had. While doing all kinds of photography with it, and maybe trying to get some B-roll footage. Oh boy, I was trying to get all technical, and while I was all laid up and while I took some time off, I thought I was going to get way into this, so I did all kinds of pictures with it. And the bottom line is that my micarta caught on fire. Don't ask how. Well, I had to do with a sparkler. But the micarta actually disappointingly caught fire, and I was so upset. So I basically emery boarded it down, filed it down, sandpapered it down to as fine as, you know, as finely as I could, until the burnt marks were removed, kind of rebuffed it back up, and I got it as good looking as I can. Now you can see the difference very easily when you compare them. The top one is perfect, the bottom one has the burn mark in the repair. I could probably do a little bit better too, but so okay. But my thought to myself at the time was, well, hey, wait a second here. I'm always so protective of my knives. Like, I don't ever want to use them because I like them so much. And I really like this knife a lot. I really do. So I thought to myself, I have a perfect one that I can keep perfect. And now here's one that's got damage to it. I can't stop that now. Even the crest came out and I had to epoxy it back in. I didn't do a good job. You can see it's got, yeah. Now I have a Holiday that I can use EDC as hardcore as I want, and I have and did, and we'll talk more about that, especially in the Holiday specific video. But got a lot to say about it. Great knife, great company, really like the Finch Holiday. And let me throw my sticker out here to remind people, if you're still with me, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, consider subscribing. As I show you the fourth and final Finch knife I have, I just want to say, like I said earlier, I will do a video on each of these knives. This is the Finch 1929, and I should have mentioned this on the Holiday as well. Take a look at the grain on the blade. It's horizontal, like as if it were hand rubbed. Whether it is hand rubbed or not, I don't know, but it's got that pulled satin finish as if it's hand rubbed, and that's awesome for so many different reasons. Number one, because it looks hand rubbed or hand pulled, and number two, because when you wipe a blade 9 times out of 10 you go like this, and guess what, if the grain is going that way, it's a big plus. It's a big plus. Looking back at the Holiday, and this is the one that was burnt, but the grain pattern, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Lost track of what I was saying for a second. Is horizontal as well, like a pulled satin finish. Now, let me check the other ones, because again, I think the Runtly has a bead blast kind of finish. Yeah, like a polished bead blast, and then it's got the pulled finish on the flats. Oh, I don't think I ever got back to the nail nick on why I kept saying we'll get back to that. I like it because you can pull it out, like I was saying, and I also like it simply because you can middle finger flick it from reverse, and that makes this knife that much more cool. It's got a hefty blade, so the action's awesome. It's absolutely possible to be a full EDC, but it could be a 5th pocket carry as well. But it absolutely yeah, has that nail nick on both sides, so you can middle finger flick it. I gather, I mean, left-handed or right. Yeah, but that's that finish of the blade. These two here are horizontal, and I believe the Cimarron is more of the bleed. Yeah, so the Cimarron and the Runtly are different in that sense. These two, I mean, I love the Runtly, I really do, and I like the Cimarron. But these two are by far my favorite. Which one of these two, I don't know. This is the 1929. You know, circa 1929. Oops, it's upside down, isn't it? In homage to, Spencer was mentioning his great-grandfather and the Tetons, or the Grand Tetons, or whatever you call them exactly. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up more. But what a great, I might just take a shot of that for the thumbnail. What a great knife. It's slightly smaller than the Finch Holiday, but those two models are the closest in my mind. They feel the closest, but I still love the Runtly too, and I like the Cimarron. I don't know which Finch is my favorite. But I'm flipping the Finch, man. I can't keep any. Every day there's one of these in my pocket. It doesn't matter what day it is. I might still have another knife in my pocket to test or photograph. but every day, no matter what, I've had one of these knives here in my pocket. Period, end of story, throughout all of my time off, since I've last filmed, at the very least, if not even longer. So here they all are. Let me pull out that 1929 sticker just to get it less confusing. I'll leave the Flippin the Finch. It's starting to get windy, so maybe I'll wrap this video up a little bit, but here's all 4 models I have. They do have a couple models that I don't have, and I'm sure they're great. I just don't have them right now. That's not to say that I wouldn't like them. If they're anything, I mean, look. Every one of these knives, like I said, has a story, and on the Finch website, you can read them for yourself if you'd like. Or shortly here, I'll be, posting a video of each of these knives, and in those more specific videos, I will more specifically talk about the story behind each knife. But if you're curious in the meantime, obviously check them out. They're great stories to go along with the knives. They really did a great job with that. I think it's going to be a great sales and marketing thing for them as a company. Again, the customer service and public relations is unlike every company, knife or not, should take note of the way that the way that Finch does it. I've worked in the customer service field a long time. I've dealt with a lot of media relations and retail and on and on and on, and I just, hey guys, if you want a suggestion, go learn from Finch in Stilwell, Kansas, because they have it down. The way that they treat their customers is nice. The way that they interact with them on social media is, I think, above and beyond. And I think that it creates their brand, the Finch brand. It's almost like it's not just a knife that I'm carrying. I'm carrying a whole thing with this when I embrace one of these stories and pick a Finch for the day. And I really like that, and I hope you do too. And I love these knives, and I hope that you pardon my absence and enjoy this video. Check out Finch Knives, guys. Okay, have a great day, guys. I hope you have had a great month or so. Is that a Runtly that little guy's holding? It is. Anyways, that's all for now, guys. That's it. Have a great day. Guys, just while I was packing these up, I wanted to make sure I mentioned, there's a Finch model, I think, for everyone, no matter what your design or style is. I mean, look at that beautiful clip point, the Wharncliffe. You saw the Cimarron and the Runtly. Speaking of Wharncliffes, and I don't believe I did. The reason I'm coming back on those is because I don't believe I did any measurements on the 1929. So, real quick, there's definitely a Finch for everyone. 2.5 inches on the blade, a pretty solid 3.5 inches, probably just a touch over 3.5 inches on the handle. That action is awesome. I mean, they're just great knives. I'm in Finch Love right now, really. They're 88.93 for grams, 3.13 ounces. I've not had I've really, I'm not, no joke. Finch has been, they've kind of rekindled a little bit of a spirit in me for some of these knives. I kind of got bored with these everyday flippers, and I like traditional knives, but it's still like I'm not I'm there, but I'm not there. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but this crosses that realm, that border, and I love it. And I would include the Runtly and the Cimarron on that as well. Have a great day, guys.